Picture this. It's the dead of night, the house is quiet, and then glass shatters downstairs. Your heart spikes, your palms sweat, and you fumble for the pistol on your nightstand. In that heartbeat, the exact cartridge loaded in your magazine stops being a debate and becomes your chosen response. The difference between one round and another can literally separate an evening that ends with everyone safe from an evening you'll remember forever. This video is about thinking beyond the default, understanding why different rounds exist, how they behave in real environments, and which ones make sense for the life you actually live. Why hollow points are still the default. Hollow point bullets earned their place for a reason. Their design encourages controlled expansion on impact, producing larger wound channels while shedding forward momentum so the projectile is less likely to pass completely through a human target. That combination, energy transfer plus reduced overpenetration, is exactly what most people want for carry and home defense. Industry stalwarts like Federal HST and Speer Gold Dot have long reputations for consistent expansion and penetration across many platforms, which is why they remain the go-to choice for a broad range of shooters. The ammo market today, picked by missions, not habit. Ammo engineering hasn't stood still. Modern designers aren't just making ever prettier hollow points. They're developing projectiles targeted at specific problems. Tiny pistols that still expand, bullets that fragment to reduce ricochet and overpenetration indoors, and rounds built to retain performance after plowing through a car door or auto glass. The smarter approach? Stop carrying what's popular and start carrying what's appropriate for your environments and skills. That means thinking in mission profiles, pocket carry, apartment defense, urban/vehicle exposure, and matching the round to that mission. Small but mighty. The 380 ACP revival. The 380 ACP got a bad rap for decades as not enough bullet, but advances in bullet geometry, metallurgy, and propellants have pushed certain 380 loads into legitimately effective territory. Manufacturers have engineered lighter, purpose-shaped projectiles and bonded/solid options that expand reliably from very short barrels and still reach penetration depths considered acceptable for defensive purposes. The practical payoff? A truly pocketable pistol with soft, predictable recoil and terminal performance that surprises skeptics. If you carry a micro-compact, don't dismiss the 380 out of hand. Test modern loads in your gun and judge results by measured performance, not old stereotypes. Frangible ammo, inside the house safety. Frangible rounds are intentionally designed to break apart on impact. They pulverize or fragment into tiny particles on contact with soft tissue or hard surfaces, which both maximizes localized damage to soft targets and drastically reduces the chance the projectile will travel through walls or ricochet dangerously. That characteristic makes them a highly attractive option for apartment dwellers, law enforcement training scenarios, and anyone who worries about collateral damage inside a structure. However, be realistic. Frangibles can lose effectiveness through heavy clothing or bone, and may not be the best choice for unpredictable outdoor encounters. Authoritative discussions of frangible pros/cons can be found in industry and training sources. Barrier-capable rounds, when the threat hides behind something. Real-world engagements often involve barriers, glass, vehicle doors, plywood, or gypsum board. Typical hollow points can deform, clog, or lose stability after passing through those materials, reducing terminal effectiveness. Barrier-rated rounds are engineered to survive that transit, retain mass, and still produce meaningful wounding after penetration. Designs vary: bonded cores, solid copper geometries, flex tips, but their shared goal is predictable performance after an obstacle. If your day-to-day puts you in urban settings, around vehicles, or in situations where barriers are plausible, running barrier-capable loads is a practical step toward consistent terminal results. Recent product lines tout barrier-blind performance and even demonstrate on-paper advantages against standard JHPs. The Tech Explained. What makes modern rounds different? Let's nerd out for a minute, because the engineering matters. Here are the recurring design concepts that produce real gains. Mass distribution and profile. Some rounds move weight rearward or use tapered geometry so they track straighter and expand more predictably, even from short barrels. Lightweight, high-velocity projectiles. Pushing a lighter projectile faster flattens trajectory and often increases temporary cavitation at typical defensive ranges. Progressive/penetrator noses and fluting. Shapes that cut or bore through barriers. Think drill-like noses or fluted designs can preserve forward momentum and punch through obstacles while still transferring energy in tissue. Bonded cores/monolithic copper. These keep the bullet together on impact, improving weight retention and penetration consistency compared to traditional jacketing that can separate. Coatings and jackets. Polymer or electroplated jackets reduce fouling, improving reliability in extended strings of fire, and keeping your pistol functioning under stress. Understanding these design elements helps you parse marketing claims. It tells you why a company says their load performs well and what to expect in practice. Platform dependence. Test in your gun. This is the hard rule. A load that performs beautifully in a test barrel or another person's pistol may behave very differently in your handgun. Barrel length, rifling twist, feed ramp geometry, slide mass, and even the magazine can change velocity, grouping, expansion, and reliability. Do this. Buy 2 or 3 candidate loads, run accuracy tests, conduct reliability strings, including stovepipe, mouth drills if applicable, and if possible, gather objective metrics like velocity with a chronograph and controlled penetration tests. If you can't run formal terminal tests, at minimum, do dynamic drills, reloads, draw to first shot, and rapid follow-ups to see how the load affects your split times and hit probability. Trade-offs and realistic expectations. Every advantage has a downside, and you should know them in plain terms. Frangible. Less overpenetration risk indoors, but reduced performance through heavy clothing, bone, or complex barriers. Barrier rounds. Consistent post-barrier performance, but a higher potential for overpenetration in an open, soft-target environment. High-velocity light bullets. Flatter trajectory and faster follow-ups, but variable blunt force characteristics versus heavy slugs. There's no universal best, only the right choice for a specific set of risks and contingencies. Skills, awareness, and systems beat caliber every time. Ammo amplifies competence. It doesn't replace it. Early threat recognition, movement to cover, de-escalation tactics, and the ability to make precise shots under pressure are what actually save lives. Train with qualified instructors, run stress drills, and practice malfunction clearance until it's reflexive. Importantly, train with the exact load you intend to carry. Differences in recoil impulse and sight picture recovery can change the outcome of follow-up shots under stress. Layered defense. Put ammo last, not first. Use a hierarchical approach. Detection and avoidance first. Lighting, alarms, doors, non-lethal options next. Strobe flashlights, pepper spray, and lethal force only as the final layer. Choosing frangible rounds for home defense is an example of using ammunition as part of a thoughtful, layered plan, reducing risk to innocence while retaining a last resort capability. My personal picks: contextual reasoning. If it helps to see how I apply these ideas for urban EDC with a tiny pistol, I favor modern, optimized, small-caliber loads that expand reliably and remain controllable. For a home defense kit where thin walls and neighbors matter, I'll run frangible loads to reduce through-wall risk. For work that exposes me to vehicles or likely barriers, I'll carry a barrier-rated load and practice with it until follow-ups are instinctive. Those choices reflect my environment and training. Yours should reflect yours. Practical checklist before you commit. Buy a few boxes of each candidate round and test in your firearm. Run accuracy and reliability drills. Record group sizes and malfunctions. If possible, measure velocity and, safely, test terminal performance in calibrated media. Train under stress with the rounds you plan to carry. Factor in your environment: apartment, rural property, urban vehicle exposure. Maintain non-lethal layers and a concrete plan. Ammo is not a standalone solution. Reassess periodically as new designs appear and your personal situation changes. Make an informed, situation-driven choice. Hollow points remain a solid default, but modern specialized rounds give real, use-case advantages when picked for the right mission. Don't be swayed by hype or brand loyalty. Be guided by testing, objective data, and honest training. If this breakdown helped you think through what to carry and why, like the video, subscribe for deeper ammo tech dives, and tell me in the comments, what round are you carrying and how did you decide? I read them all. Train hard, be safe, and match your tools to the life you actually live.